Hi guys, I'm Vikas. I'm a PTE trainer at Bangalore, India. Today I'm going to cover some tips and techniques for a deceptively difficult question type, that is read aloud of the speaking section. Now, if you found the video useful, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I have also given you a couple of examples with which you could practice. So make use of the tips and techniques and get full marks. Thank you.
All right, folks, let's get started. So today I'm going to be explaining to you the tips and tricks that you could use to score full marks with the read aloud question type of the reading section. Now remember guys, read aloud section is deceptively difficult. It's not as easy as you think. You can just not simply read a sentence and get full marks for it. You could apply the tips and techniques that I'm going to give you here during this lecture and get full marks. We'll first start with the scoring. The scoring of your read aloud question type is based on the content. Make sure that you spell out all the words correctly in the question. Make sure you have the right oral fluency and make sure you're pronouncing it right. Now, before we get into the tips and techniques of read aloud, I'd like you to have a look at an example of the read aloud section. Here you go. You could pause the video right now to have a look at the question. Now, if you look at example number 1, your question type will be something similar. You will have 30 seconds to rehearse your question. Right, so let's now get back to the tips and tricks and then go back to practicing our examples here. The first and the most important tip for the read aloud section is that you have to read the sentences at moderate speed. My non-native speaker friends, remember this. You will have to speak at moderate speed to avoid making mistakes. This also helps you with intonations. The second important tip here is that you read phrase by phrase. You have to pause intermittently. Remember, you are being checked on how you could speak. So when you are reading out the example, make sure that you mean what you say, right? It should be like you're talking to another person or you're trying to convey something to another person. So obviously the third tip is going to be that you will have to use intonations. There will have to be high tones and low tones as in how it is required. Now I'll tell you some more techniques that you could use to get full marks. Remember to practice read the question during the preparation time. No matter how good you are with reading, make sure that you're fully prepared with the questions. There might be chances that there are difficult words that you will find a lot of difficulty to pronounce. So make sure that you have practiced it well ahead. The second most important tip is that you do not restart sentences. If you have fumbled, that's completely okay. Just continue with it. Just continue reading this sentence. All right, now that you know the tips and tricks, let's get back to the example once again. Now, my friends, you could feel free to pause the video right now. Make sure that you use all the tips and tricks that I've given you and just go ahead and read the first example. All right. All right. I'm assuming you've done a fair bit of practice already. I'm going to read out example number 2 so you understand what I'm talking about. Now imagine I have 30 seconds for me to prepare. Now that I'm prepared with the sentence already, I'm ready to go ahead and speak or read it out aloud. Make sure to read it at a moderate speed. Do not restart sentences. And make sure you use sentences and say it like you mean it. Right, let's get started then. Example number 2. Our mission is to be a university that has a global significance. To be a leader in higher education, providing excellent research and teaching. and contributing to the most important issues and debates of modern times. We are proud that this university is increasingly having an impact on practice and thinking worldwide. Now, guys, I hope you were able to see some of the tips and techniques that I mentioned while I was reading this aloud. Please feel free to pause the video at any point in time and practice once again. You have plenty of other videos that give you a lot of other PTE materials where you could practice plenty of times. All right. I hope this video has been helpful for you to gain better scores. If you have any questions or queries, please feel free to leave a comment below. This is Vikas signing off. Thank you.